Welcome. Thanks for waiting, guys. We're back. We're going to change the tune of things for a little bit. We're on to theater now. And to share with you a little quick story, I was out in Kensington Market minding my own eavesdropping when I was over at Baldwin and Augusta. I forget the name of that little cafe. It's a cute little outdoor-indoor cafe owned by Ozzy. There's a plug for you, Ozzy. And I overheard a bunch of people collaborating, planning and plotting, and it turned out to be theater. So I asked, "What are you guys up to?" And it turned out that it's about a play, and a wonderful play, a drama called Wet, and that could be a topic on its own at the upcoming Fringe Festival. It's a drama, not a comedy. It's drama, and it's Wet can the first when someone hears that attracts one's attention. What does that mean? And we'll find out soon. And I'm here with part of that collaborative group. The person I first talked to was Marc Richler. Correct me if I got it wrong.
No, you
He's
got it right.
the founding member of WORKhouse Theatre, and he's co-producer with a couple other people that aren't here, I guess. And David Brock, who says he's not part of the collaborative group, but I'll try to understand what that means. But certainly he's the playwright, so it must be important. And we have here also the lovely Jillian Pearson, who's the artistic director and the main actor, or the star, we can say, in the play. Although I'm sure she'll say her colleagues are as important, along with they're absent. Marc Rocci?
Pache.
There, I did it. I was
Yeah.
my writing.
That's okay.
Marc Pache, sorry, Marc. Craig Henderson, and the director, and I didn't make a mistake here, is Jack Patterson. And they all managed to get together and managed to ease their tempers and work together to make a play.
That's right.
Oh, and it cost them 8 months. It was an investment of 8 months of WORKhouse Theatre. And thanks for being on.
Thanks for having
Yeah.
us.
It's a wonderful world of sequential events and maybe mistakes or accidents that get us to different places.
Yeah, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
We're meant to be here.
Yeah, there you go. So I heard, I'm going to just read this little bit here that Marc sent me here, and that might just tell everybody out there basically what this is about, because I'm too sloppy to try to explain it right now. Late this evening. It's not really that late, but here we go. WORKhouse Theatre, which is the group, this part of this collaborative group, has been in development on the play Wet for the past 8 months with Canadian playwright David Brock, who's here. Wet will be directed by, or is directed by, Vancouver native, my thing went out here, Jack Patterson, Jack, and stars 3 graduates of the Neighborhood Playhouse in New York City. Wet is a dramatic play which exposes 3 relationships after, during, and before the war. And I don't think I've come across that storyline. So that sounds exciting. I just haven't come across where that experience where it's before and during and after a war. And I'm interested to hear how that developed. It took 8 months to develop. Did it? I'm just wondering, did it take a while to come up with the idea, or the idea came right away and then you just worked together, workshopped it together, or how did it work?
The rehearsal process and the workshop process has taken about 8 months. I started writing this in probably 2007 as part of a master's workshop at University of Guelph, and put it away for 2 years, didn't look at it, and then met Jillian and her co-conspirator JR, and they just started talking about what their theater company was about, and I gave them a couple plays, and those ones weren't right, but then
We sent those ones back.
Wet was sort of a Hail Mary, and and it was something that I've been thinking about more 3 years ago, and have been thinking about nonstop for the last 8 months. But so the 8 months that we're talking about is sort of when I met the 9 members of WORKhouse Theatre,
How did you meet? Just over beer? Or
I think it was coffee, but it soon turned into beer.
Yeah. JR was the other artistic director of the company, John Riley O'Hanley.
Thank you.
He and David have a mutual friend. I believe his name is Warren.
Yeah, Warren.
And Warren put them into contact, and that's how we got the scripts from David. And then we met at Starbucks. And just went from there.
Why not Booming Cafe or something?
Yeah. It's because I was lazy and I lived near Starbucks.
Yeah, we were trying to be accommodating to David.
All right. So,
we try to meet everyone in coffee shops. That's
our thing.
It's a good place. It's a good place, as you know, to eavesdrop and to
Absolutely.
hear about what's going on. Just I don't want to labor on this, but what was the reaction of the two plays you turned down? It just wasn't a fit, or you slapped them in the face, or what exactly happened?
I don't know if I want to hear this.
We've never really talked to David about this. It really it just wasn't what we were looking to produce for our first show in Toronto.
Right.
You know, we really wanted to feel attached to the play and felt like it created a response from us.
Okay.
And the first two plays, it just didn't stimulate what we were looking for. And when we asked for something else, David kind of nonchalantly mentioned this, and it might have something, but I don't really like it. And JR and I looked at each other and we're like, I bet you were going to love it.
I got a question for both of you now.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go with Dave first.
Sure.
What inspired you? What tricked you, or was it a dream, or what moved you to do this kind of a storyline?
Right.
Could have been partly a dream, and then as you wrote it, you were reading it as you wrote it, and it changed, metamorphosed.
It's changed completely from the first time I started writing this thing, and it wasn't anything that sort of dramatic. It was more of a challenge. It was this idea of writing, again, starting it in 2007, and everybody seemed to be writing some sort of war play or something about the armed forces, and mostly in a negative light. So I sort of gave myself the original challenge to try to write something that wasn't necessarily anti-soldier.
Right.
You know, that was sort of, it might, you know, it's not a celebration of war, but it's definitely an attempt to sort of discuss war in maybe a way that I wasn't seeing in film or plays or novels or anything, the news. And so I felt sort of a responsibility there to try and tell a different kind of story, and I think that was the original intention, and it's morphed beyond that in a really positive way, mostly through the rehearsal process, seeing the actors take that on and love the characters. Right.
But did you? I mean, you weren't at war yourself.
No, but I have friends who've gone or who joined the Marines and the number one or the armed forces, and the number one question that I'll never understand, and even through this play is still the question, why? And you just ask, why did you join? What was the reason? And the soldiers that we've talked to and that continue, every time I meet one, it's, you know, get to know them a little bit and then say, why did you join? And not in a negative way, not a judgmental way. I'm genuinely curious why someone would make that decision, because it is a bit of a decision, especially in Canada.
Did you read, I'm not saying that's a requirement, please, but did you read the Canadian writers, Boyd or whatever, the one who did 3 Day Road, based on the Native Indians?
Joseph Boyden.
Thank you, Joseph.
Yeah,
Boyden.
I haven't read it, no.
Wonderful book, but I'm getting picture that's how he did his research to write that book, because he wasn't in the First World War either. I mean, that's anytime an artist is going to tackle something like that, for me anyway, there's sort of a real worry about placing this judgment on it. Right. And that's been the challenge. I've said that from the very first time I met with the cast, or even before that, and I said, guys, this isn't an anti-war play. There's not a lot of this. It's a dark play. Yeah. There's some comedy too, by the way. Exactly.
But it's a dark play, but it's not a sort of an indictment on war or an anti-war or one of those. I think there's enough literature out there that says war is bad.
And in fact, one of our favorite things as a company about this play was that war is very much the setting of the show, and something we've been saying forever is that this play could work. If it wasn't war, it could work in an
oil rig.
In an oil rig, it can work in so many different places.
The Gulf Coast, etc. Whatever. Explosion.
Yeah, that would have been topical.
Pre and post. Well, Saturday Night Live would do a twist on it, or Stephen Colbert. But
Because it's a story about the people.
Yeah, and that might make it ageless and maybe someday a classic. I don't want to massage your ego too much, but
Probably.
I'm more concerned about. I'm more concerned about the first week in July.
this
I'm not
takes away.
looking too much past July 1st.
well, look, one step at a time.
Yeah.
I'm just having a little fun with you, and I don't